Hi guys, this is Ravenclaw What If. Welcome back to another What If story. This will be part, I think, 2. Because my last episode was part 1, I believe. So yeah, this is part 2. What if Izuku Midoriya, or what if Deku had Foxfire? And I made a kind of a little bit mistake. Izuku doesn't have 8 tails, he has 9. So, and the ship is going to be Mina Ashido. You know, that was the most comments that hit. There was like one floppy, and the rest was Mina or Momo, but I think, worked well with Mina because she has the mutation quirk, and so does Izuku. So, Mina fans, there's quite a bit of Mina fans out there, so let's start our episode off. As you know, he's getting off like the next day after school. He's walking, talking to his mom on the phone. She's like, "Dear, how was school? You didn't have any incidents with, Missy's boy." And Izuku's like, "No, Mom. I had no problem with, Bakugo, but he seemed to be, after what I did to him, he seems to be leaving me alone." Yeah, because he was spinning for one day. Let's just say a week passed because he was spinning for a week. So, yeah, he's left Izuku alone because he got beat. So, as he sees like a group of guys with a different school uniform, Izuku has a school uniform on from his middle school. As he sees like a pink hair girl with purplish like pink skin, I think it's called. It is, Mina Ashido, as everyone knows what she looks like. As they're like, "Stupid mutation freak, let's cut those horns off of you." As he pulls out a knife. They're like in the alleyway. As Izuku sees them pulling her over to the alleyway. He's like, "Mother, I have to go. I have to. Something came up." And she's like, "Wait, I'm not done talking." And, he clicks the phone. He's like, oh, I'm just like, he has a serious look. So, he walks. They're about to, attempt to cut the horn. I mean, a little pocket knife's not going to do shit to a horn, but, they're trying to scare the shit out of her. And as she closes her eyes, because she thought they were going to stab her, as, Izuku rushed over there, the knife pierced his hand, as all Mina could feel is a drop of liquid on her forehead, as there's blood, because of Izuku. And he's like, "I don't know what I don't know what's going on here, but I don't like what I see." As Izuku puts his palm on the guy's, put his palm on the guy's chest as he ignites fire, but doesn't like it. He pinpoints to it like a burst, so it's like kind of like his version of explosions, but there's no explosions. Just for the pressure. So as he goes flying across the alleyway, there's the other side of the wall. As Izuku blitzed him, grabs his face while he hits the other side of the wall, as he knees him and throws him to the ground. As Izuku cracks his neck, he's like, "Who else wants him?" As Mina's eyes widen. As he's like, let's teach this brat a lesson. Because he's like, these classmates are like upperclassmates in Mina's middle school. I think we're still in the first. I don't know if we're in the first year middle school or second. I forget sometimes. But let's just say it's the first year. So as they rush over him, they're throwing. One of them has a fire quirk, like I like throwing, garden fodder to that uses fire. As he's like, "Eat this." As "Eat this, fox." As he's throwing fire because he has fox ears and 9 tails. As he just sits there, shields Mina. As he shields Mina as the fire. They're laughing, like burn both of them like a twofer. As the dust clear. As they see Izuku unharmed. His clothes are a little bit burned, but not him. He's like, "You call that fire? Laughable. Allow me to show you." As he breathes in, as he puts his hand out, unleash, a little fire blast. A little, fire blast as they go flying, as Izuku's beating them, and as you know, they get up. He's like, you pay for this, loser. Like, mutation freak. You too. As you know, they run off, lick their wounds. As you know, Izuku walks off. And, Mina, like, runs over to him, smiling. Dusts off her dirt on her face. And the blood, apparently, on her forehead. He's like, she's like, wait, Fox Boy. And, Izuku looks at her. Huh, I guess. And I guess that is my quirk, after all. And he's like, I'm Mina Ashido. Pleasure to meet ya. As, she's shaking his hand, like, back and forth. Like, she's really upbeat. So, as Izuku, very well, I'm Izuku Midoriya. Nice to meet you. As if that's all, I'm leaving. As Mina follows him, and he's like, "Why do you follow me?" He's like, you seem interesting. I want to get to know you." And she's like, "What? Why don't you smile?" And Izuku's like, "I have nothing to smile about." And she's like, "I'm gonna make my personal mission to make you smile." As she's like, she hands him her number. It's like, "Here's my number. Call me." And she runs off and does that, and Izuku's like, kind of like, doesn't know what to think about that, because normally normal girls are not that pushy around him. So she's very pushy, very upbeat. So Izuku gets on his mother chewing him out for hanging up on her. It's like, yeah, I've came across a girl that was being attacked by some upperclassmen from her own school, apparently. Oh, sorry. I'll watch that in a little bit. As as she kind of like relieved, and she's like, it's like, all right, so like, I'm not too mad. Just don't hang up on me. As she hugs Izuku. It's like, come on, let's eat. As Izuku, texts me, it's like, here's my number. If anything happens, if those little losers come bug you again, just give me a ring. And Mina's like, during the text, she's like, I meant what I said. I'm gonna make my personal mission to make you smile. As she has a smiling face on the text. And Izuku's like, a deep breath. He's like, God damn it. He's like, like a kind of like annoying type of breath, like inhale and exhale. Like he got a leech on him. So this Izuku Midoriya, doesn't really smile at all. He's very serious. So I figured that would bug the shit out of Mina. So that's how I'm gonna do how they build a relationship. She's always constantly trying to get him to smile, that sort of thing. So I thought that would be pretty interesting to do. So we're gonna skip to we're gonna skip to the third year of middle school, like the end of the middle school, start of the anime. As over the years, after the encounter they had each other, Mina's constantly trying to get Izuku to smile. They've hanged out a couple times, and she's been over at Izuku's place, and not Mitsuki, sorry, Inko approves of the young girl because she's very upbeat, and Izuku's the total opposite. So she always try to get him to smile, like I said before. As we're gonna cut to the teacher walks in. He's like, I got your papers in for your career choice. I know you all want the hero track. As he throws it, throws it up. The papers everywhere. As everyone's excited. Like using their quirks, except for Izuku, because he's not a Bakugo. So he might be a little rude sometimes, but no, he's not Bakugo. So Bakugo's like, don't like. They answers like, we have Baku Kasi applied to UA. And, he's like scoffing. He's like, of course I'm UA. That's my feature, school. He's like, there's another application. He's like, what? Don't list me in these B-listers. They're nothing but extras. They'll be lucky enough to get a psychic job. Like a low-ranking hero. As everyone looks at Baku like, because he's a dick. So, and it's like, yeah, we have, Izuku Midoriya apply for UA as well. And, Bakugo's like, what? He's like, he walks with her, Izuku. You better not go to my school. And, Izuku looks at him because he's reading the book. He's like, you really want to go for round 2, Bakugo? And, you want the same treatment? What we did last year? As, Bakugo backs up. It's like, whatever, loser. Mutation freak. As, he walks off. Izuku's been hearing that his whole life, so he doesn't think of it. He doesn't care about that. So he's like, he's like, whatever, firecracker. Go on, terrace. Move along. You're interrupting Sensei. So it's like, all right, class, enough of that. And you need to, be careful what you say, Bakugo. Or we're going to have to call you mother again. As he gulps, because, he's kind of afraid of his mother. So I like to have Bakugo afraid of his mother because his mother is very tough. So, as, the day progresses, and, Bakugo's trying to start shit with Deku as he explosion hits his desk. And he grabs Izuku's book. It's not like a hero book. It's basically, literature. Something, for knowledge. He's like, you better back out of that school or I'll burn your book. As Izuku grabs him by the neck and grabs his book from his hands and throws him across the room. As he walks over to Bakugo, only reason you're not in a hospital right now is because of Aunt Misky. Count yourself lucky. And you too. You get involved and you won't have the same luck. As, he lights a fire in his hand. And they back up because, they're not going to mess with Izuku because their numbers are not in their favor because they're, because they're little cheap losers. So, as, Izuku, walks off, takes a shortcut, like in canon, as he, come across the sludge villain. As, he sees the manhole. He doesn't think nothing of it. He doesn't know. He's not expecting to, this to happen. So as he hears like something like moving, like a sludge sound moving, it's like, what the hell is that? As his ears like perk up a little bit, when a wild animal hears something, like their ears do a little bit moving motion, as the sludge monster, reaches for Izuku as he jumps back. He's like, what the hell are you? He's like, don't make this difficult, kid. I need your body. I'm gonna cough for a minute. Alright, I'm back. He's like, don't make this difficult, kid. Nothing personal. I just need your body. I didn't know that freak All Might was here. As he's like, as Izuku doesn't, he knows of All Might, but he's not like a fanboy. He's not a fanboy of heroes. But, he's not sure if he wants, he is going to hero track, but he's not sure, what type of hero he wants to be. So, as the sludge monster goes in to try to attack him again, as Izuku goes in, uses fire, all his tails into one point, and use it as a fire blast. Like a fire beam, basically what I'm doing. As all the tails pinpoint in one direction, as all the tails are in front of him, as you see a green bright light. Then a second later, concentrated fire blast, as it, messed up the sludge villain, all he's all over the ground. And, he's, trying to form back up as he's blasting him. And he's just, making it difficult for him to reform his form because, he's like, I wonder who will run out of energy first, you or me, with my fire, or you're whatever you are. I normally don't, hurt people with mutation quirks, but I'll make an exception. As he's as Izuku hears, don't fear, I am here. As he goes, I think he does a Detroit smash, or does a smash, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen that part. So as, All Might smashes the sludge villain, what's left of him, he's like, oh, you're right, young man. And Izuku's like, yeah, I'm fine. And he throws, he dumps out a bottle from his bag, water, and he tosses it to All Might. He's like, here, you probably need that. He's like, thank you, young man. He's like, all right, I'll catch. He's like, see you later, hero. As you know, he's walk off. He's like, "Wait, young man." He's like, "Damn it, I would like to talk to him, but my time is running out. I got to get out of here." As you know, the whole incident with him dropping the sludge villain does occur. Easy could laugh because he's not autographed. He doesn't have an autograph because he doesn't have a book. All he has is like knowledge books, actual books, not notebooks. Izuku does draw, but he doesn't carry the notebooks around with him all the time because sketchbooks because of Bakugo, because he likes to blow his books up for some reason. So he like starting to walk into the area where the second sludge incident happens, but it's not Bakugo. I want to do something different. So as he hears some he doesn't hear explosions, but he's going to that area to pick up some more stuff nearby that area where in canon where Bakugo was getting attacked by the sludge villain. As Izuku sees that Mina, it's Mina. So he's like, that kid's gonna die. We gotta do something. We don't have the right quirk for this situation. We can wait for like a hero with a better quirk. And Izuku walks past those heroes because that's him somewhat friend Mina, even though she annoys the shit out of him. He's not gonna he's not gonna let her die. So he's like, "Wait, kid, you're gonna die. Let a hero handle it." And Izuku looks at him like stares at him like, "Call yourself heroes. You're not doing anything. You're nothing but freaking posers. You're a bunch of weaklings." They're sure arguing with him, but he's ready up to this level. He's like, "Damn it, it's you." Yeah, as Izuku's like, "Yeah, it's me. Release her now. Or do you want round 2? He's like, "Damn it," as he tries to, reach for Izuku as he blasts him with his fire. Again. As he blasts his sludge hand away, the tentacle, as he blasts his eye, as he rushes over, grabs Mina, jumps back, as All Might sees this, he's like, he has a heart of, he's thinking, he would be a good candidate for my quirk. He went in without, thinking of his own safety. He only thought about the safety of the girl. As that inspired him to, go plus ultra. So, 100% or whatever, yeah, he goes in for a Detroit smash. As, the sludge villain, sorry, I keep calling him a monster for some reason, but enough of that. As, the sludge villain gets splattered, they capture him, and everyone's congratulating All Might. And, sorry. And Izuku, goes to, help Mina up. She's coughing up for, getting some air. She's like, "Izuku." As she smiles. She's like, "You're my hero." As, she hugs him, and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "What? You kind of saved me, so I'm going to hug you." Sorry about that. And he's like, "All right, enough of the touchy-feeling thing." He's like, "What? The mean old fox doesn't like to be hugged." And, as, she's like touching his tail. She's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Your tails are quite nice. They'll definitely make a good pillow." As, he's like, "Stop that." As, All Might, stops no, let's do this. As, Mina walks off with Izuku, All Might's following them because, he's curious about the boy. As, they're talking, and Izuku's like, I'm glad you're not hurt. As he does a little smirk. As, "Is that a smile? Did I make you smile?" And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, "You smiled a little bit. It's not a full smile, but it's a good first step." As, she's like, "All right, I'll talk to you later, Izuku." As, she runs off, all happy, because she made Izuku kind of smile. It's the first step for her. Her main goal is try to get him to smile. So, it's like, he sees, "I am here, walking in like I'm walking like a normal person." And he's like, All Might, was it?" "Yeah, it was All Might. What can I do for you?" I was like, "Can I talk to you, young Midoriya? Like, young man." And he's like, "Yeah, sure." Or, they go to, away from the general public to As he buffed down. He's like, huh. So are you some sort of imposter? Because that wouldn't make. No, no, no. I'm truly All Might. I have as he explains his scar. He's like, interesting. He's like, he finds it interesting. He's like, so your quirk is like a transformation? He's like, no, 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 it's more complicated than that. I would like to, I would like to discuss this further. I would like to, ask you if you would like be my successor to my quirk. And he's like, quirks don't work that way. Quirks definitely don't work that way. He's like, yeah, I'm able to pass on my quirk through, unknown means. And he's like, I would like to discuss this further with you, but it's getting pretty late. And he's like, but before I go, what's your name? And he's like, I'm Ezekiel Midoriya, and what's your quirk, young man? I know some sort of fire, and you have, it's quite noticeable. You have a mutation quirk as well. He's like, yeah, it's a fire mutation. I have a mutation quirk / fire, and a little bit of transformation. And she's like, interesting. It's like, I would like to discuss this more, and I'd like to see where you at. You definitely be a good successor to my quirk. And he's like, can you meet me at Deku Beach tomorrow? It's like, oh, very well. I need to go. Mother's probably worried. She probably saw the news. Probably freaking out. And he's like, very well, young man. I'll see you, at Deku Beach tomorrow. So he's like, he doesn't think nothing of it. He thinks All Might's lying or something. He's just gonna go for curiosity because he's a fox. So foxes are quite curious and they like to get in things where they shouldn't be in. So as he walks into her, Inko rushes over and hugs him. It's like, I saw what happened. Are you alright? And she's like, yeah. It's like, why would you do something so dangerous? And, he's like, well, Mina was, a tough spot. I wasn't going to allow her to get killed. That would not be very heroic, would it, mother? And she smiles, and, Kinde, rushes over, like, you did good work, Izuku. You handled that very well. Seems like my training, it's working well for you. And he's like, yeah, it is. As, so, you met that, All Might guy. She's met All Might before, because she's like the second place hero. She's like, yeah, he wants to meet me tomorrow about something about training or something like that. He's not going to tell everyone about, his quirk or All Might's quirk yet. He's definitely not going to, because that's kind of like hush-hush. So, as, then he goes to the room and Mina, texts him. It's like, see, I knew I could get you somewhat smile, and that serious fox is slowly fading away. And he's like, no, that wasn't a smile. You're just imagining things. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever, fox boy. As like, I'll talk to you later. As they do a little bit of conversation during text. So the next day, he goes to Dagobah Beach. He sees, Skull Might. He explains, like, how he got the actual scar. He didn't really explain. He didn't have enough time. Tells him about the time limit. He's like, so you're only allowed to do hero work for a certain amount of time. Interesting. So that's what you need, a successor. It's like, but how can a quirk be transferred? There's nothing in books about it whatsoever. Or I would have come across it. And he's like, so he's a kind of a bookworm. But guess that's good. Always good to have knowledge. So, but before we begin, I want to see, where you at. So, it's like, you're very fit for, your age. And he's like, yeah, my, I forget what was. She would be his aunt. So he's like, yeah, my aunt, trained me. Huh, and who's your aunt? He says, Kennedy, the fox hero. Oh, you're related to the number 2 hero. She's a very good hero. She's very polite. She could easily be the number 1 if she was, trained a little more. As because the Dever is like number third, because, I didn't want to make a Dever number 2nd. So, even though I like a Dever, I think she would be the 2nd because she's a lot more friendly. And not, serious all the time. So, let's continue. So, He's like, I would like to, see your quirk in action. And he's like, are you sure? It's kind of against the law to use my quirk. I've kind of been, told that several times. He's like, I'm just curious what your quirk is. Quite curious about your fire too, and your transformation, as he uses a bit of fire. As it's like interesting. Is that the most powerful you could get your flames? He's like, no, that's just some minor fire. I didn't want to go all out, I didn't want to, cause a commotion with people. And it's like, very well, I would like to see this, transformation. I'm quite curious about. As you could transform into a white fox. He's a lot bigger, so he's like, he's a big fox. So, I'm not sure what size he would be. He would be like, maybe a size of a mastiff, I guess. Yeah, let's go with a mastiff dog. Those like a size of a full-grown husky, because those dogs are huge. So that's how I want to do this. So he's like, very impressive. Have you always been this size? And he's like, no. My transformation quirk grows with me. The older I get, the bigger I get. I'm also able to control my size if I choose to. As he shrinks down into like a small fox, like a little baby fox, like he was as a kid. He's like, interesting. As he shifts back. It's like how so you have a hero device for your clothes. He's like, yeah, the collar you saw on me, it it stores my clothes and it does that. So he's like, very impressive. It's like, so as he does a more explain about his quirk. He's like, we need I would give you now, but you're not quite ready. He's not gonna get all buff or anything. He's just gonna get more lean and fit. So I want you to clean this beach. He's like, I haven't decided to take your quirk. I'm like, well, you're here, young man, so I figured you'd be you're still interested. He's like, yeah, I am. Very well, All Might. I'll accept your terms. I'll do this, and he does that for let's say 3 months. He's like, after 3 months, All Might comes in here occasionally just to check up on the young man. He's like, you've done very well, young man. I think you're ready to accept my quirk. As he's like, eat this, and he's like, what? Are you serious? A hair? He's like, yeah. And he's like, it would have been easier if you do. There's other methods. He's like, yeah, but this is the simplest. He's like, very well, All Might. And he eats the hair. He's like, wait 24 hours and come back to the beach, and I'll meet you here. And we're gonna. It's 27. Let's continue for a little bit. As then the next day progresses, and he's like, very well. Now, can you explain to me how this whole quirk works? Like, what exactly is it? He's like, yeah, it's a stockpile quirk that's been passed on from successor to successor. And he's like, huh. It's like, how does it work? As he does an explanation, that crappy explanation he gives Izuku in canon. And this Izuku's not stupid, so he's not going to break his arm on this one. So, so he asks, so do you pinpoint it in all one limb, or you spread it out to your whole body? He's like, your whole body, young man. That's what I said. And Izuku's like, no, that's not what you said. All you said is clench your butt cheeks. That's not an explanation. That's like a freaking guide. So, so that happens. So he, faces the water, the ocean, as he does a smash, as, it splits. And he's like, oh my. So, will this affect my other quirk? His fire, my fire. He's like, yeah, it might increase your firepower. It's like, interesting, as, he goes in for a fire blast. It's big. It's like, he wasn't even trying. He's like, amazing. I wasn't even putting my full strength in that. He's like, yeah, you might have to train. You're definitely going to have to train if you're going to UA. Because, he knows he's going to UA. I think I've mentioned it to him. So, if I didn't, he did. So, he spends the rest of his time training. And, Mina occasionally goes in there and, just trains with him. Because, she likes being around Izuku because, she likes to get him to smirk. At least one more time and try to get him to smile and maybe laugh. but he's not gonna laugh anytime soon. So that happens, and I think we're gonna stop it here. It's at 30 minutes. So the next part we're going to. I don't know if I'm gonna do a part where building more of their relationship early on, or I might wait for that. But I'll definitely go into the UA entrance exam. Definitely do that. So hope you guys have a good night and day. Judging my time zones. Stay safe. All right, bye.